The entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5 days ago. Got razor wire on the top. Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon. This is the entry gate for Alligator Alcatraz. Got mosquitoes everywhere. Really landing there. Look at that. Not a fun place to be put in prison. You do not want to go here. 30-foot.
My question is, why the hell do you look so damn happy about it? Alligator Alcatraz. What do you think is gonna happen in there to black and brown people, to Asian people? What do you think is gonna happen to them? Huh? You're not gonna see no white Europeans in there. I'll tell you that. You're not gonna see a white Russian, a white Australian, a white UK dude. You're not gonna see him in there. It's gonna be nothing but black Caribbean folk, black African folk. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans, Cubans. There's gonna be a whole bunch of them in there, going through the worst things humanly possible, and you smiling and laughing, bro. There's nothing to smile about. Like, this is weird. This is weird. This is racism, bro. Like, you remind me of a blue-eyed, blonde-haired German from the 1930s. They looked pretty damn excited before those gas chambers were built to exterminate you people. It's given that.
Our government built Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. And Alligator Alcatraz is basically a prison or a concentration camp that is fully surrounded by waters infested with alligators. Like, first of all, whose money was even used to do that? 1 plus 1, it always is some tax-paying dollar bullshit. But also at the same time, this is the same country that can't house the homeless. Just can't do that. Can't feed the starving. You can't do that. Honestly, people get, citations and tickets for feeding the starving people, for feeding the homeless people. They can't, give medical care to the poor. This is the same country that, is doing all of those things, but then builds Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. It's almost as if they just don't want to actually help any of the actual issues, but they could if they wanted to. Clearly, because they can build Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. So they just don't want to help. And then it's crazy because the trauma of being rounded up by ICE already for the immigrants is crazy. And then now you want to send the immigrants to Alligator Alcatraz, a prison or concentration camp that is fully surrounded by waters infested with alligators. It sounds like the plot to a movie where there's an evil villain that does some diabolical shit where you can't even comprehend, but this is literally what is going on. Like, what?
Black babies to alligators. It's not a figure of speech. It's not hyperbole. It's not a metaphor. None of that. They used to feed black babies to alligators. And now there's a new facility being built in the Everglades of Florida. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. Newspapers like the Oakland Tribune in 1923 and the Washington Times in 1908 reported that black children were used as bait for alligator hunting. One account described hunters paying a black mother $2 to use their child for this very purpose. Another report from 1908 described how zookeepers from New York Zoological Gardens used black babies to lure out alligators from their pets. By the early 1900s, the use of this trope was widespread. It was just a part of popular culture. Postcards, figurines, cartoons, they all commonly depicted black children as being threatened by alligators being completely aloof, often using the exaggerated racial features that we see expressed in the pickaninny stereotype. And this was the kind of content that white people consumed for entertainment. This was like a novelty, humorous to them. This wasn't limited to just trinkets and small items. This was used also as a racial slur. Bob Gibson, a Hall of Fame pitcher, recalls this phrase being shouted at him during games in the Jim Crow South. Even the University of Florida used to chant, "You ain't a gator, you gator bait." This is how harmful phrases with racist origins get repurposed for general use. Now today in the Florida Everglades, they're building a detention center. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. This is an ICE detention center, basically a concentration camp that is surrounded by alligators. And black immigrants are being deported. And I'm sure amongst those are people who are not here illegally. And for those black people who have 8 days, they built a facility with 5,000 plus beds, surrounded by a moat filled with alligators and snakes. This is some villain shit. And you got this crazy lady here who looks like Jigsaw from the Saw series, talking about there's 65 million meals if we get started today. There's currently 65 million Latinos in the United States. This is just how deranged these people are. You got a literal concentration camp that you guys blew down for the grand opening of. Is that not insane to y'all? Alright, the other thing is that they're selling merch. They're selling merch.
This is where the Trump admin plans to imprison human beings looking for a better life. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz because it's surrounded by swamps filled with alligators, crocodiles, and pythons specifically chosen for security.
We're gonna teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay?
This isn't a facility just for criminals. It's where they plan to hold any undocumented immigrants. Just look at Trump's smile as he tours the detention center. These people are evil. They even have merch to celebrate their inhumanity as if they're souvenirs from
Incredible. Would you rock this trip? Look at that.
This isn't normal. Not to mention the facility was built in 8 days within a crucial nature reserve, encroaching not only in a vital ecological area, but also on 15 Native American tribal villages that live there. It's set to hold thousands of migrants beginning in July. This is what $450 million of our tax dollars are funding through federal emergency programs. How could Americans support treating human beings as objects, disposable, worthless? It's partly the result of years of dehumanization campaigns against undocumented immigrants. Trump has said they poison the blood of America because they have bad genes. He's called them animals. He's labeled them as snakes, illegal monsters, and gang members. He's called them invaders destroying our country. And way too many bought it, despite none of it being true. Documented immigrants even commit less crimes than U.S. citizens. It's just white supremacy and authoritarianism. We have to do better.
Y'all are okay with this? Y'all are okay with this? This is gonna make America great again. A concentration camp. You don't realize that this looks just like this. This is Auschwitz. Yeah, that's what you're voting for. This is what you mean by make America great again. Do y'all know that they built this in 8 days? 8 days while y'all veterans and you guys just rip your veterans so bad. We stand with our vets, 4th of July. Let's celebrate their sacrifice. But you don't care about the fact that Trump, he couldn't possibly make something like this to house some homeless veterans. No, of course not. The people that fought for your freedom. No. He's gotta build this whole thing in 8 days to be able to torture people. Do you guys know that they took alligators? They're finding the largest alligators, the most poisonous snake, and putting it in this moat around this detention center. So that in the words of Trump, nature can be the security, and they're just gonna have to learn how to run from alligators. It's so funny how some of y'all are sitting here saying you're okay with this buying the merch that they're making with alligators on the front, talking about some alligator Alcatraz. Y'all don't even realize you're repping the same thing, the same system, the same idea that was feeding little black babies to alligators, that were ripping the babies from their mother's arms and throwing them into the pond to be unalive. If you don't believe me, look at this advertisement. If you don't believe me, look at this advertisement. Okay? You're demonic. I promise you right now, I'm gonna say this again. If you think that this is okay, you think that this is biblical even, you're demonic, you're possessed. Nobody on God's green earth. I'm itching, y'all. I'm itching. No one can make me feel like this is okay. These are people. These are people. I can't even understand how so many of y'all are claiming to follow Jesus, and you're doing this. You think that you know they pay these people what, over $3,000 a month? That's over $100,000 to be security guards in Alcatraz. We can't get minimum wage to move, right? They're working on taking away government assistance like SNAP, EBT, Medicaid, but they're willing to pay the security guards for this concentration camp upwards of $100,000 a year. You guys see the joke? You're telling me that there can't be somewhere to detain people that are pedos? If you know what I mean, pedos. We can't get this for viewers. We can't get this for P. Diddy. Like, are you joking me? Or you can snatch away mothers and fathers and children and shove them in a concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades. Crazy thing is, I see so many people saying, well, this ain't my fight. This ain't my fight. It is your fight. Because you better believe, baby, it ain't gonna stop here. It's not gonna stop here. America's getting to a point. America's getting to a point where prophecy, biblical prophecy, is that's all I'm gonna say. Y'all don't see all there is to be seen. Because you only see what's right in front of you. Like, yo, I'm so mad. I just make America great again. What a freaking joke.
Laura Loomer said that the 65 million Latinos in this country should be food for alligators. Never forget that Laura Loomer said that alligator Alcatraz would create 65 million meals for alligators. Now you might think it's a joke, but they fed our babies to alligators, and they thought it was so funny that they put it on candy boxes, they put it on tobacco boxes, they put it on coffee cans, they put it on soap boxes. But the reason why black and brown people can't fight to win a future where we are truly liberated is because we are programmed. There are four walls that block in the minds of black and brown people, and we've been at this a whole lot longer than y'all, so let me tell you what they are. We've been programmed to worship white folks, to objectify women, to fear going to hell, and to value money over all else.
Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility.
I want to be clear that calling this alligator Alcatraz is a misnomer. This is more of alligator Auschwitz. There are no cameras in that facility. The facilities are below human rights violations. It started flooding yesterday. And they're already bringing people in. This is vile. This is what we're seeing now. That video especially. If they had cameras with video, they had phones with video, that's what German people or supporters of the Nazis would have been doing outside of Auschwitz or any of the other concentration camps. Look at this amazing facility. Don't get it twisted. If you associate with people that are celebrating this, cut them off. If someone has they're literally selling merchandise for this concentration camp, that should put a target on these people's backs. You're calling for violence. The social contract went out the window. The social contract was ripped up and thrown into other people's faces. Be very straightforward here. If you have strappy strap, please make sure you get strappy strap or learn how to strappy strap. Okay? Learn, because this we're so far beyond the bad place. Make sure you have a go bag ready. Make sure you know how to strappy strap. Please just do what you can to prep. Okay? Because when you have them actively wanting to arrest mayoral candidates simply because they're socialists, when you have to see them trying to strip the citizenship of the visas of black Haitians, they've made it clear that it's not about criminals anymore. It's about anyone that stands up. Anybody who's non-white. We're very much on. We're burnt. We're not cooked. We're burnt.
Calling it alligator Alcatraz. Are you kidding me? If you missed it, Trump is headed to a low-cost immigrant detention camp built by Ron DeSatan in the Florida Everglades. According to Triple K Caroline, quote, the only way out is via a low-cost immigrant detention camp built by Ron DeSatan in the Florida Everglades. According to Triple K Caroline, quote, the only way out is via a one-way flight and it's surrounded by dangerous wildlife. You cannot be serious. Listen, I know most maggots are 10-watt bulbs and 200-watt sockets, but let me see if I can make this crystal clear for you. A large concentration of folks deemed undesirable by the government put in a camp with no due process. If only there were some historical similarities there. Oh wait, they might as well write hard work will set you free above the entrance. And oh yeah, as for the whole low cost and efficiency thing, the expected spending on this is $450 million to intern 1,000 people. Not a great look for the party of fiscal responsibility. So when I tell you, soulless, loathsome, maggot pieces of shit to get fucked, this is why. This is the side of history that you're supporting.
Majority.
So in this video, we are literally seeing Americans reacting to the fact that this detention center was set up within a period of 8 days. They spent around millions and millions of dollars just of taxpayer money to set it up. And they're going to place immigrants in this detention center, whether you're black, whether you're Latino, brown, African, you're going to be placed in that detention center. And some people are comparing it during the time of the Nazis, when they used to have this detention center for the Jewish. And some people are comparing that situation with what is happening in America right now, or in this area called Alcatraz. They're saying the inhumane condition that is in this detention center. Of course, not many immigrants have been placed there. I mean, illegal immigrants have been already placed there, but some few have already arrived in that area. And for now, we are being told the place is flooded. It rained. The other day it just rained, and the place is flooded because of just this simple rain. The area is so prone to alligator. That's where the name comes from, alligator Alcatraz. And the whole area, Walaikum Salam, the whole area of the detention center, the borderline is surrounded with water, which are full of alligators and of course poisonous snakes and of course other wild animals. Now there's only one way out and one way in, so running away is nearly impossible unless you want to fight with the alligators in the water. All right, so now the place right now is flooded. According to some people, they say it rained the other day, and within a period of just one day it's flooded. So imagine people living that area in such a place. Imagine the situation. So is it habitable? Is it safety for human beings to live there? Only time will tell. Only the government are the ones who are going to have the final say. But at the end of the day, it has literally give Americans, there's some Americans who are literally criticizing the government and say it's not a safe place to live. And there are some people who are praising American government, saying, oh, it's a good thing they're trying to curb illegal migrants who are coming in America. In fact, some people end up saying, you know what, since you're seeing this, since the world is watching this, so it's gonna stop people from coming to America illegally. So it's a gray area that people are operating in. So whether you're supporting or you're against it, at the end of the day, this current administration, they came into power saying that they're going to handle the issue of illegal migrants in America. So far, this is what they're trying to do. This is what they're trying to curb. Are they doing correctly or incorrectly? Only time will tell. Only history will tell. But so far, these are the reasons. This is what they say: when you go to vote, know who you're voting for. Vote for someone who has your best interest at heart. So for the Latino community, for the Cubans, Americans, Cubans were in Americans, the Mexican, who voted for the Republican, and now they're crying, say they wish they could go back in time and change the way they vote. Unfortunately, karma is a bitch. This is the reality. These are the consequences. It's painful because families are being torn apart, lives are being destroyed, and then of course there's that trauma when ICE detain you. They take you to those detention center. The process, it can really traumatize someone, whether you're wondering whether you're going home or you're going to be deported to God knows which country. Because right now you're being told some people are going to be deported in South Sudan, others are going to be deported in Rwanda and God knows other third world countries, and yet you don't speak the language. You're being taken to a third world country, you don't know anybody, and yeah, it can be really traumatizing, to be honest. So only time will tell what's gonna happen. But the reality is, karma is a bitch. This is what people voted for. And yeah, so people should just tighten their seatbelt. Remember, every action you do, there's always an equal reaction, and you should be ready for the consequences. So these are the consequences. So please be safe, take care of yourself, and then make sure you have your papers incorrect so that you avoid such situations. Let me know what you think about this video. Drop your comments and please subscribe to my channel.